Hello and good evening, everyone. Hope you all are keeping safe and healthy during this pandemic time. Sitting at home and getting bored? Don't worry, as per our commitment to keep you engaged and make you meet new people while sitting at home every day, we are back with yet again another episode of Kids Live. Today we have with us Dr. Sarthak and Mr. Amit, the co-founder of Kidspreneur. Amit is an entrepreneur and enabler in the Indian startup ecosystem for almost a decade now. He advises companies on their Indian entry strategy. He's also a TEDx speaker and works closely for some government initiatives too. Welcome, Amit. Why don't you tell us something about Dr. Sarthak today?
Thanks a lot, Aditi. So Sarthak and I know each other for I think last few years, where we started interacting, through our startup engagements. We also participated in a program called Startup Leadership Program, and I think that's where our interaction engaged. Sarthak has been a great supporter to Kidspreneur, and we run a Shishir and I run an accelerator. He's also on the advisory board on that as well. So there are too many things which Sarthak does. I think there is a two-pager where which I have explaining whatever Sarthak has done and whatever he has achieved. So Sarthak, I think you probably should talk about more about you. But what I would recommend is you have achieved a lot in the last few years, but because it's all about kids, talk about your own childhood. How was you as a how were you as a kid? गलतियां करते थे, शैतानियां करते थे, नहीं करते थे, पढ़ाकू थे, what was that journey, and then whatever you're doing right now?
Sorry. Hi, everyone. And thank you, Amit and Aditi, for reaching out. As Amit already told that, yes, I've been part of Kidspreneur earlier in a few engagements, and I've known Amit for a few years to multiple locations. So that's about it. That what am I doing currently? And it's been a very immenseful journey for learning. And I still believe that even after going beyond 30 years of age, every day is a new learning. I mean, I learn so much every day from everyone that's starting their new, because they bring such a different thought perspective. So anybody, and especially at younger years, I always go and talk to this to that school and college is the best time, because you have nothing to lose. Your parents are not dependent on you. You don't have anyone to provide for. That's the best time for you to go out and try new things.
Those were some very great ideas, sir. And many people were, I think, are getting motivated by all this. But as we were talking, you also talked about some failures. So, what do you think kept you motivated through those failures?
I guess trying to achieve something, the hunger or the fire inside you or in each of us bellies is depending upon, I mean, it's a very personal choice. I had that fire, I still have that fire, that I would want to try new things, build a name for myself. And it's generally, I would just give this 2 cents that people should not think of only about raising capital, or that should not be the end aim, that I need an investor's money, I need to be funded. The aim has to be, or the vision has to be more than that. It cannot be just that I need to raise this round, need to raise that round. Is if you're trying to solve a problem which no one else is, or if you're trying to solve a problem in a better way than the other person, then money will eventually follow. But if you're just trying to do something to raise money, then you are bound to fail. So in my failures also, if I can talk about one of them, with the laundry startup, that I said that we were very engraved in our mind that, that India requires a tech startup. India requires something like, a Flipkart or a Dunzo to come and pick up your laundry, wash it, clean it, press it, deliver it within the same day. We had all these things figured out that everybody requires this. But and our perspective, what the problem that we were facing is that we are going to do a much better job than a buy at home, or than someone cleaning your clothes at home, because they will completely destroy your expensive clothes. But when there's a price war at it, and when there are a lot of competitors, and you're trying to do something within a very short span of time and in a very unorganized market. So our replacement, which we thought that people are fed up of their buys, was not that much, because they had the freedom. The buys were as innovative as us, that if we can call the buy at, if you were saying that you can't be depending on your buy, the buy was already ready to change their time according to the people's need. They were ready to even cut down their salary, and they felt comfortable in seeing that their clothes are there, they're hung dry, and they get their clothes within, probably we were offering 24 hours, they were getting it within 6 hours when the buy was there. So our methodology was always based on that, yes, there's a problem that exists in the US or abroad where there are no buys. So if we were trying to replace a buy, it wasn't, India is not the market for that. And I failed at that, and I'm really happy to say that you would not find a pan India laundry startup, because for a Kanta buy, there's a Shanta buy. You can't replace a Kanta buy with a laundromat startup or that startup. That eventually won't happen, because the price or the economics of the startup is never going to be successful. So that was my big key learning, that just don't try to bring a foreign idea to a native land and try to make it compatible. There has to be a need for it. Otherwise, if you're trying to create a need, either you require SoftBank to fund you and burn billions of dollars and then understand. Otherwise, once the need is created, then you can obviously innovate the process to a better way than the other person, which I believe that just do a thing better than what a competitor is doing, and money will follow you.
So that's great. So the basic thing here is, I think that we should, keep having ideas and try experimenting with them, instead of just keep sitting on the back seat and just let whatever happen in life. So that's great. Also, what happens sometimes is, like, sometimes it happens that the person becomes successful in the first go itself, and then he or she becomes very overconfident ki ye to ho hi jayega types. So how can we, abstain from getting overconfident, or how can we maintain that balance in life? If you have some suggestions for that.
I think it's easier said than done, and you would have a lot of examples with you that it's not necessarily that you have. I would not talk about startups in that way, but eventually the normal businesses, from Anil Ambani to Naresh Goyal to all these big honchos, who had who were billionaires at one point of time, and Vijay Mallya, Neera. I mean, you can definitely see that now they're all facing government wrath, probably going to jail, whatever might happen. So, success is one thing that yes, you should learn from it, understand it, not let it get to your head. But that's again a very individual centric thing. I would not recommend anyone because hunger is there. I mean, see at Mukesh Ambani, he was the richest guy earlier, but I mean, there's you have to give them hats off that he is trying to get into new industries, trying to disrupt them, trying to do something so different which is beyond, and that's the comparison that goes. And that, oh, he's able to do that because he has access to money. A lot of people have access to money, but a lot of people don't know how to execute it properly, and a lot of people don't have the courage to take that big a risk. Easier said than done about Mukesh Ambani. He has a debt of 3.5 lakh crore on Reliance books. Most of the other businesses would have gone bankrupt by now and would have been facing jail. But kudos to him. He's raising more fresh funds. He's raised money during COVID, during the pandemic, when the whole world is sleeping. He's raised more than $12 billion, $10 to $12 billion. When there is hunger, you will figure out a way. The point is that if you want it, you will eventually find a way to it. It's going to be a slow and steady race. Nothing will happen overnight. Nothing will happen within 1 month. Yes, I have this brilliant idea. Let me just go ahead and execute it, and within 1 month I should become a billionaire or a millionaire. That won't happen. It's a very slow path, and you have to be really patient at it. If you're trying to say that yes, I've created this product, it should be downloaded X number of times, my website should be viewed Y number of times, I should have this, that won't happen unless you're ready to be very patient, to grow organically, do the marketing, whatever is required, but be very patient about your idea and you will succeed. Same, I mean, just see all the businesses from Amazon to Flipkart, they were not overnight success. None of them, Zomatos and everything. There will be a few examples who were successful within the 5 or 6 month journey, but most of the other startups or businesses did their time. 2 years, 1 year, they were patiently building up. They were getting the tech ready, they were getting organic traction, and once the first round of fund came, then there was no looking back. Paytm, all of them. For the first 2 years, they were very patient. Nobody would have heard, Zomato started in 2008. Nobody knows. Flipkart started in 2006. I mean, the fund came in 2009-8. It took around 2-3 years eventually to build that fund, the idea up. We have to be very patient.
I think those were great ideas again. Moving to you, how did you decide, when and how did you decide to make a career in this field that you are in? Like being a doctor is a dream of many kids when we are like small kids, no? But very few make it through it. So how and when did you realize that you have to be a doctor? And
so I'm a PhD. I'm not a clinical doctor, first of all. And as I told earlier, that I decided to make my choices from my failures. I did understand that I'm not good at those things, so I should not do that thing. Say if it's a tech idea, and I'm not the tech person, and I'm not the visionary in shaping the product, or I could be a great product designer. Then there's no point of talking about an app all the time or a website all the time, because you were just a person who's trying to join a lot of dots together. There's no point that you will be successful. So in the same way, when I understood that yes, if I was trying I was trying to do website ideas, trying to do app ideas, where my contribution was trying to join a lot of dots together. I figured out that I have to be a more important piece of the puzzle to make the idea successful. So when you're starting this venture, the other important piece of the puzzle, having an IVF specialist on board or being an embryologist yourself, I knew that this time I have the skill set where I am almost the 40 or 50% of the skill set. So I knew that I would probably have a lot of better chance on getting this idea successful than my other failures. So I could not, that's what I'm telling you, that I will not tell you that what is successful, but I can tell you that from failure, that is not supposed to be done. So when you're trying to do something, and all the people listening out there, if you're trying to do something, don't base your idea on this would be successful, that would be successful. Everything is successful. You just need to know that what amount of skill set are you bringing to the table, and then the idea will be successful. Don't base your idea or your methodology on a lot of dots together. You're not the coder, you're not the UI designer, you're not the great app marketer. There is not, but you're just saying, I have this idea and let me find a person to make the app. Let me find a person to market the app. Let me find a person to, you know, make the great design out of it. And then I'm just there because I had this idea. That won't work. Create your own skill set in the beginning.
That's great, sir. And I think being a PhD doctor is, equally difficult and requires the equal amount of hard work. And having that
Comparatively
time,
easier.
no, but so that's what I believe. Like being at this stage, that it will require equal amount of hard work. Yeah. So being a doctor is a doctor, and apart from that, moving to the kids, there's so many kids who want to be sorry, who want to start their own business when they grow up. So what would be your tips and advices to them?
As I just told that success comes before failure only in your thoughts. Even in dictionary, it's after failure. Uh, be ready and just embrace failure. There isn't going to be success without failure. I don't believe that. So anybody, and don't be afraid to fail. When they say, there's an old idiom saying that fail fast, fail quickly. That does not mean that you're bound to fail, but whatever you failed from, learn from your mistake, rise up and start again. That's the crux of the matter. Whatever someone's trying to do, you should have that skill set and you should try to learn from your failures, and success will eventually follow. You know, when you're at the bottom, there's only one place to go, and that's up. So if you are ready and you can embrace failure and you can start developing your skill set, there's no reason for you not to succeed after that. So anybody that want to try something out new, just go ahead, be brave, be courageous, be audacious in your thoughts that yes, I'm trying to do a big thing. And at the end of the day, I might lose my 1 year because I spent a lot of time over there. I might lose thousands, lakhs, crores. I don't know. I did that, but so many things you would have learned along the journey, and that's what important is. I am not against jobs, but when you're in a set routine, when you're already a part of a very big wheel, you're a very small component. The organization is already going. There's someone doing sales, someone doing finance, someone doing accounting, someone's at the head. You have to listen to someone. You have to give instructions to someone. So you're a very small part in a very big machine. And when you're starting to do something of your own, you are one in a million. You're everyone. You have to see above, below, right, left. Everything is your vision, and how do you shape it up. So when you start something, then that's the actual learning which you won't get in a job. So that's what I'm saying. If you start your own thing, you will learn immensely. And everyone should take this beautiful journey of entrepreneurship as soon as possible. The younger, the more risk taking capability that you have. The older you get, the risk taking capability decreases, but your experience increases. You would you would tend to make a fewer mistakes than what you would do when you were young. It's always a trade-off, but you should try your entrepreneurial journey whenever you want.
So I think those were great tips, and the kids now in the lockdown must be, getting a little more creative, experimenting with so many things. So this is the time when they can focus on so many tips and advices, and that's what we are trying to, give them right now. So not taking much of your time, we have one last question for you. uh, you are associated with so many startups, like which are very diverse, like this fertility center clinic, and then there's another one that I was looking, travel by karma. So like how do you decide to be which one will I be associated with, or how do you like handle so many diverse fields at the same time?
So I think it's easy for every businesses has the same components. Everyone has like marketing, finance, accounts, sales. I mean, and there is a target audience. You just need to mold your ideas according to the business. So eventually, once you start getting deep dive into a similar process, you know that yes, today I'm B2C, tomorrow I have to be B2B to B2C. So are you shaping to a mass centric? Is your audience between 18 to 24 years of age, say TikTok, or if my audience is only women, if it's a female menstrual startup, if my audience is if I'm a Zomato kitchen, then my audience would be male who are binge watching at the wee hours of the night, beyond midnight. So based on your target audience, you know that yes, I can change my sales funnel or change my target audience accordingly. The point of all of this is once you've been into a few businesses, you're learning which matters the most. You can mold your learning and embark your knowledge that you have. So, and the more you become involved into multiple startups, the more learning you have. Coming back to that earlier point, learning is the most important thing. You should never stop learning, and learning can only happen if you try new and newer things. So unless you try new and newer things, you won't learn. If you won't learn, you can't tell or you can't advise other people. So the more you learn, the more advice you can give.
So as we are here getting so many advices from you, I think, it's great to have you here and get all these advices from you. There's one question that we have got from our Facebook audience. You've been associated in this CII initiative,
Yeah.
and you're working closely on it. So how do you think that kids will get benefited by this initiative?
So Young Indians is a great organization. It has many multiple verticals from road safety to organ donation to entrepreneurship to Muskan, which is about sexual health awareness. There are multiple initiatives being taken by Young Indians, and it's generally for people once they graduate between 21 to 40 years of age. So anyone who's keen to join the organization, be part of multiple, because Young Indians, the motto of the organization, it's a sister concern or not a child concern for CII. The motive is that young people come and shape up the nation, build the nation, and how every year they decide on a few initiatives, and it's on for all of us young people to come and build the nation accordingly based on an initiative. It's very easy. Anybody that wants to become a part of it can reach out to me or to Young Indian directly, and I will definitely help that. So it's a great organization for learning also because we have a lot of seminars, a lot of learnings, a lot of great speakers coming up and talking about their journeys. So it's a good initiative in that scenario.
That was great, sir. So we are like over with our set of questions for the day, but all the audience is going to have more questions that they'll want to know from you. So maybe we can have you again here with us, maybe sometime later. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. My pleasure. It's a pleasure. It was a pleasure talking to you and to Amit. And likewise, it's always a pleasure to share my thoughts with everyone.
Thank you to Amit for joining us for today's session.
Thanks a lot, Aditi, and thanks a lot, Sarthak, for sparing time. I think you're still busy. You have a clinic and business to run, but thank you so much for taking your time and help sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you. Pleasure is all mine. Okay.
So before we end today's session, I would like to thank all of you for joining us for this session. These testing times under COVID-19 situation have created a vacuum and forced us to face times that we had never dreamt of. Engaging kids has become quite an effort who are forced to stay inside their homes 24/7. This Kids Life initiative, like many others, may help you in keeping your child engaged. Stay tuned and join us every day at 5:30 p.m. for such engaging sessions.